686 days. That is how long Lewis Hamilton waited for this moment. Nearly 2 winless years in red. A brutal debut season in Ferrari red that the critics called an absolute disaster. A 41-year-old who, according to half the paddock, was simply done. And then? Sunday happened. Barcelona, Catalunya. Lights out. And by the time the checkered flag dropped, history. Hamilton's first win in Ferrari red. His 106th Grand Prix victory. Outright. Alone. The most of all time. So, let's settle it once and for all. Is Lewis Hamilton the undisputed greatest Formula One driver who has ever lived? After Barcelona, I don't think there's a debate left to have. Let's be clear about what actually happened out there, because this wasn't a gift. This was Lewis Hamilton and Ferrari outthinking and outclassing a Mercedes team that looked completely invincible. Think about the context. Mercedes had won every single race leading up to this weekend. Russell was on pole. The teenage phenom Kimi Antonelli was hunting from behind. Ferrari knew they couldn't beat them on pure raw pace, so they weaponized strategy. While everyone else prepared for a standard 2-stop, Ferrari gambled on a hyper-aggressive 3-stop strategy. On lap 28, they pulled the trigger, pitting Hamilton early for a massive undercut that caught the entire Mercedes pit wall completely off guard. Then, on lap 41, fortune favored the brave. Fernando Alonso's home race ended in heartbreak, triggering a virtual safety car. And Ferrari pounced, calling Hamilton in for what was effectively a free pit stop. He came out with fresh hard tires and a lead he simply would not relinquish. For the final 25 laps, Hamilton drove like the 7-time champion the record books say he is: composed, ruthless, untouchable. Russell crossed the line second. Lando Norris completed an extraordinary podium for McLaren, the first all-British podium since 1968. But this day belonged to one man. And the team radio said it all.
Thank you so much. You helped me achieve this dream, and I can't thank you enough. Thank you for everyone pushing so hard back at home. I'm so proud of you. And to my family, I love you. And to the fans, thank you for continuing to remind me who I am.
106 Grand Prix wins. Michael Schumacher, the man Hamilton was chasing for over a decade, sits on 91. Max Verstappen, the closest active rival, has 71. Hamilton isn't just ahead. He's in a different category. 104 pole positions. He became the first driver in history to break the triple-digit mark, and he did it at this very circuit, back in 2021. Schumacher's total? 68. It isn't close. 206. Let that number sink in. 206 times, this man has stood on an F1 podium. Schumacher managed 155. Yes, they are tied at 7 world titles apiece. But here's the context that matters. Hamilton won his titles across 2 different teams, in 2 different eras of regulation, against era-defining rivals like Fernando Alonso, Sebastian Vettel, Nico Rosberg, and Max Verstappen. And many in the paddock still argue it should be 8, given how 2021 in Abu Dhabi ended. At 41 years old, Hamilton became the oldest Grand Prix winner since Jack Brabham, back in 1970. In a sport that supposedly belongs to 19-year-old prodigies like Kimi Antonelli, the man some called finished just beat the entire grid at a brand new team, with a brand new car, under brand new regulations. Now look, we know what the counterarguments are. We'll give them to you straight, because a real review doesn't dodge them. Fair point. But Hamilton has now raced and beaten 4 generations of teammates and rivals: Alonso, Vettel, Rosberg, Verstappen, and now a teenage sensation in Antonelli. Different eras, same result. True, the Mercedes hybrid-era machine was rocket ship. But machines alone do not win 5,100-plus career points across 3 different teams. Senna had dominant cars too. Schumacher had a generational Ferrari built around him. Greatness and great machinery have always gone hand in hand in this sport. What separates the GOAT conversation is what a driver does when the car isn't perfect. And that's exactly why Barcelona matters so much. A winless 2025. A 6th-place championship finish, 267 points off the pace. Every pundit wondering if the magic was gone. Then, in year 2 at 41 years old, an age where most drivers are doing vintage car rallies, he goes up against a 5-race winning teenage phenom and a dominant Mercedes car, and he beats them on strategy, tire management, and pure racecraft. That isn't luck. That's a champion's resolve. So, here's our verdict, and we'll say it plainly: longevity, win count, pole count, podium count, era-spanning dominance, and now, a career twilight statement victory against the odds. Lewis Hamilton is the greatest Formula One driver of all time. Not one of. The one. And this isn't just about history, it's about right now. Hamilton sits second in the 2026 championship, just 41 points behind Kimi Antonelli, after the Mercedes prodigy's shock retirement handed Ferrari a 25-point title swing in a single afternoon. If Maranello has genuinely unlocked the key to matching Mercedes' pace at a track as punishing as Barcelona, we are officially staring down the barrel of a multi-team war. And the man leading Ferrari's charge is the same one people were writing off 12 months ago. 106 wins, 104 poles, 206 podiums, 7 titles, and one Sunday in Barcelona that reminded the entire sport exactly who Lewis Hamilton is. Do you agree? Is the GOAT debate finally closed, or is there still a case for Schumacher, Senna, or even Verstappen down the line? Drop your verdict in the comments. If this video settled it for you, smash that subscribe button. We have an unbelievable amount of F1 coverage coming your way as this title fight heats up. This is the F1 Speed Report. It is officially hammer time, and we'll see you on the grid.